Welcome to the Final Buzzer Podcast. This is week number 11 that we'll be doing this. This week we'll be talking about last week's NFL predictions, going on into this week's news with NBA, NFL, and any other news that we feel like we need to cover. This week we have myself, Austin, Dylan Gephardt,
What's up, guys?
special guest Andrew,
What's up?
Noah Ashley,
Hey everyone.
and Alex. All right, and last week it seems like we did pretty well in our predictions. We went 11-2. The only ones we failed to get right was our really hopeful prediction of Chicago and the
Buffalo.
Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Why would anybody pick the Bills?
I wanted an upset, okay? All right.
I really,
And earlier in this podcast, I did predict the Bills. I don't even remember who I picked them to beat.
I think it was the Patriots or something.
Wait.
No.
No, because it was actually
Technically, the Titans over the Cowboys would have been an upset. Did anybody go Titans?
I think we did. I think we predicted that one correct. I think me and Gep had Titans over the boys. Because I don't.
No, you didn't.
Did we not?
No.
Was that the other game we messed up?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the other game we messed up then.
I know somebody had Titans. Austin probably had Titans. Me and Geff had Cowboys, I think. It may have been
There was a
opposite.
whole Amari Cooper thing
Yeah.
going on.
Which
Yeah,
he
It
didn't
looked
have
good
that
for a
bad.
quarter.
Yeah, that first
Because
quarter.
Did Amari Cooper, prior to this game, has had one touchdown, right? And
Yeah.
then he comes in and immediately gets another one.
Yeah,
So,
five
it was
five
looking-
receptions, 59 yards,
It
one
was
touchdown.
looking good. It was
Yeah.
looking good.
I mean, not too bad, especially for a Dallas receiver. Not too bad. But
I mean,
yeah,
I'd still rather have Cole Beasley because at least he catches the ball.
you are true. You are true.
But other games we had that were really interesting this week was definitely the
Saints and Rams.
Yeah, the Saints Rams. That's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you for that. The Saints Rams game was absolutely beautiful. We called it with the Saints over
Yes, we
LA.
did.
The upset. Honestly, just an absolute shootout. Wonderful game to watch, especially with the young Jared Goff. I still think they have a great chance of going and winning the playoffs. Honestly, they're both great teams, and
Super Bowl winners, Lombardi trophies.
really, the big four right now in football is Patriots, those two teams, and the Chiefs.
Wait, what? What two teams?
He's talking
The
about the
Saints.
Rams and
the-
the
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
Rams and Saints.
okay.
Those are the big four in football right now. Those are the teams those are the important
Well-
matchups you got to beat.
Yeah.
I know we'll get to the Patriots and Packers game, but watching that game, they don't look like they're in the same league as, the other three being the Chiefs, the Rams, and the Saints. I know they beat the Chiefs a couple weeks ago, but watching them play, they beat the Packers, but the Packers are just really not that good this
Especially
year.
the defense is awful.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you look at Brady. Brady just hasn't looked that great other than the Chiefs game, but that Chiefs defense is the worst in the league.
It
They
is,
have the
yeah.
best offense and the worst defense in the league.
Bengals defense is the worst in the league.
No, it's kind of like
I'm
Dallas.
pretty sure we were ranked.
Because you held us to under 30 points. The Chiefs couldn't hold us under 40, or
Okay, my bad.
barely held us under 40.
Yards wise, we have allowed the most.
By the way,
yards.
when I say us, for people listening, I am a Steelers fan.
We still
My
love
bad.
him and accept him here.
But let's go and move into that. I guess that New England Green Bay game. New England did struggle with that Green Bay team,
Yes.
and the defense was just they had an ejection early on for unsportsmanlike conduct or whatever it may have been.
Mhm.
The defense was in shrouds, and honestly, with the way Tom Brady's been playing, if you especially notice in his play style, he's doing a lot of check down stuff. He's always checking down to that running back,
Always.
Deion Lewis.
Well-
For sure, especially third down plays. I guess with Flash Gordon in there and everything, it gives a little bit more vertical threat. And I mean, it shows that he can go for those guys, especially when they start playing more man coverage. I mean, I guess Bill Belichick's got it figured out. I guess a little bit more than we do, though.
Well, of course, and the thing is, what I've always noticed, as somebody who's watched his team get beat by the Patriots for over a decade. So the thing is, if you rush him, that's actually when he's at his best, because he doesn't pay attention to the rush, and he's just going to hit that check down.
Yeah.
Like James White will kill teams that blitz or the tight end. So yeah, he didn't have Gronkowski in this game. He still had, you bring up Gordon, Edelman. He didn't throw to Hogan at all in the game. He had 0 targets, which is surprising. But I don't know. Something about this team still, though, to me, feels like it's the most beatable Patriots team since, the year Brady got hurt.
Yeah.
They even start out like every Patriots team does, really slow in the beginning. And like I said, Tom Brady does have a knack, though, for making mediocre receivers look exceptional. And I think that's a great reason why Gordon's going to be great in the system. But we saw last week where he was benched the first quarter because he had off-field issues where I think he was late for practice or something. And Bill Belichick's a very disciplined kind of guy. So I do respect what they're going there.
That actually turned out to only be a rumor. He did start that game.
Yeah.
Did he? Okay. That's what I saw going into it.
Speaking of discipline, did you see Matt Patricia get at a reporter because he was slouching?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not.
Funniest stuff I've ever seen.
Go back to discipline. Go back to the Saints and Rams game. We have to talk about Michael Thomas going underneath the goalpost and pulling out
I love it.
the cell phone.
I love it.
Like bringing back the old Joe Horn celebration, which I don't know. You guys might be too young for that, but it was one of the funniest. And a lot of people have been complaining about it. If you watch the game, Troy Aikman went in on Michael Thomas like, oh, he had a great day except for that thing. I'm like, dude, grow up a little bit. Like, don't be such a old curmudgeon.
Okay, so when I saw the highlight of that celebration, there was a flag thrown.
Yeah.
It's
Because it's unsportsmanlike. Because that's technically illegal.
That's what I was wondering. I didn't know.
Yeah, no,
that's
you
what they
can't. You can't do that.
How big of a fine does he get for that?
I was going to
15.
ask if he
I bet. Yeah. I bet more. I bet more to make an example out of him. Honestly.
Think so?
Yeah.
See, I mean, this week was funny, though, to see that, two different games had players pay homages to old celebrations. The other one being the pick that happened in the Cowboys game where Kevin Byard runs up to the star.
T.O.
Which, I mean, hey, Byron Jones did come in and
He did,
level him. So.
but I mean, you want players, especially a team that's on.
Star?
Yeah, I mean, especially a team that's 3-4. You want people to guard that star. Like, even if you're 2-12, it doesn't matter. You guard that star. You earned it. They didn't.
But your Cowboys aren't that bad. Look.
I mean,
They are pretty good at home.
So I just want to say our defense has taken leaps and bounds since 2013.
Yes, but without Sean Lee, though, it's not the same.
Yeah. Without Sean Lee, we're a mediocre defense, and I think that in order for us to take the next step, we get Earl Thomas in free agency, pick up a new defensive coordinator, fire Jason Garrett, and
Step one.
Step one, fire Jason Garrett for sure.
Jerry Jones sitting on that list.
There's a couple little things about Jason Garrett. So you hired him back in 2010.
Yeah.
Well, he took over mid-season.
Yeah.
He's 70-58 since 2010. So, 12 games above 500. You had a 13-3 season just 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So there's your 10 games above 500 right there.
Yeah.
Or 5 games above 500, I'm sorry. And then only 3 winning seasons and only 1 playoff win and 2 appearances.
Yeah.
So, been in the league for 8 years.
And that one playoff win was questionable too. It was a stupid call.
Was that Detroit?
Detroit. Yeah, we shouldn't have won that.
And then you turn around and karma got you the next week.
With Green Bay.
When he caught it.
Yeah. Des didn't catch that.
He caught it. It's okay.
But that's okay. I mean, look, think about it this way, though. You guys and Green Bay are both probably going to have coaching changes this year.
Honestly, I would like Mike McCarthy with the Cowboys.
Really?
He's not a Jerry Jones guy.
No, that's part of it. But here's the other thing. What has he done in Green Bay? That whole organization has screwed over Aaron Rodgers for how long?
I mean, they have. It's true. Aaron Rodgers is literally the heart, the only player on that team. Honestly, he's been the only player on that team for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, nobody else can stay healthy. Well, he can barely stay healthy.
I know what to say, right? It's always something.
I don't know. Here's the thing with McCarthy. Now, he is 124-74-2 in 13 years.
Yeah.
His record's really good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron Rodgers.
Basically.
Chalk that
and Brett Favre.
Yeah, chalk that up to them.
8 winning seasons in 12 years. But two of those 4 have come in the last 3 years. So he's starting to struggle.
Yeah.
And it's he's 10-8 in the playoffs, but he's 6-8 if you take out the year they won the Super Bowl. I really want to take out that year because they beat us in the Super Bowl. And he's only had 3 seasons with more than 10 wins since they won the Super Bowl. So what that shows me is that all he's really doing is beating up on a mediocre Bears team for most of that time, the awful Vikings team for most of the time. They've only gotten good the last few years. And then Detroit, Detroit has had good years, but they suck against Green Bay.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford's record against Aaron Rodgers is awful.
And that's what when you give a guy 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, he should win his division. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the way it
100%.
should be, especially that division without it's notoriously kind of bad. Besides Green Bay, but we'll definitely, like I said, see how he functions a little bit more. But even when Aaron Rodgers was out a little bit last year, I can't remember the quarterback's name for the life of me.
Brett Hundley?
Brett
Yeah,
Hundley.
Brett Hundley.
They
Yeah.
didn't do well. And granted, like I said, you take
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers out of the question.
He
should
is bad.
Yeah, he should
Brett
take it
Hundley
over.
was bad.
he should have taken him under his wing a little bit more. That should play more to his coaching style, I guess, than anything.
So, I guess the question would be who I would want in Dallas. But I honestly
It's a good question.
don't know.
That's
Like-
a very good question because, see, everyone keeps bringing up Lincoln Riley out of Oklahoma.
I don't know.
I don't think he leaves Oklahoma.
No.
Not for Dallas. I'm sorry.
No.
I know call Dan Mullen, former Mississippi State head coach, hey, you know how to coach Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Why don't you come in? Because they don't know how to use him.
No.
A lot of people were down on him. I know he had, didn't play great, but you don't have him run. I mean, that was one of his best assets.
Yeah.
Was his ability to run.
Yeah, and I've said it for weeks. We need to incorporate a read option.
Yes.
If we were to run a read option, we would win
With Zeke and Dak, absolutely.
at least 50% of our games.
Right.
For sure.
I've never doubted Dak Prescott. I think he was great.
I mean,
I still think he's great. I just think
Hold off on the great.
Yeah.
No, hold on.
He's in that look. Dak Prescott falls into that.
Marcus Mariota range.
Andy Dalton.
Marcus
Average.
Mariota, Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Bring my mind. That's exactly where I was going with that. Joe Flacco, kind of,
Yeah.
overpaid, but somehow still in the league.
Joe Flacco is elite, somewhat.
Oh, Eli Manning, no.
Speaking of overpaid, Sam Darnold just got released by the Cardinals.
Oh, I love
The
it.
biggest
Sam
finesser.
Bradford.
Sam Bradford, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Biggest finesser in years. I think he walked
Both
up.
trash,
He
anyway.
got paid. Yeah, he got paid like $3 million for this year. He played 3 games.
Yeah.
He got paid over $1 million a game, and he's done it to every team he's played for too. And I
Yeah.
love it. And he's out of the league. I'm
Dude.
assuming he's out of the league for good.
I say he retires.
He's
I mean, he has the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just love that idea.
It's but I still think there's a team or two out there that would be willing to take him.
Oh,
watch,
for sure.
Watch Jacksonville.
Exactly.
Watch Jacksonville.
Exactly what I was
Because
thinking.
they're dumb enough to do it. Or Buffalo. Look, Buffalo has nothing else left.
Yeah. They have Josh or Nathan Peterman. My bad. They have Nathan Peterman.
That's why I want to chalk up to me and get saying the Bills are going to win to Chicago. We didn't know Nathan Peterman was starting. Okay, we didn't know Nathan
I
Peterman
did,
was
and I
starting.
mean, one of my fantasy leagues, I had the Bears defense.
Oh, good call.
Hallelujah.
Good call.
I love watching Nathan Peterman play because it's just SC not top 10 every single play.
Dude, it's you watch him and you're like, how is he in the league?
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to get political on this, but you watch him and you're like, and Kaepernick doesn't have a job?
I mean,
I don't want to go
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
but
but
it has to be said.
back to my point. Honestly, I feel like Urban Meyer might be out in Ohio State.
I think so too.
But I
think so, too.
I think he either
I actually texted you that.
if he were to go to a team, it would either be the Browns or the Cowboys.
I actually don't think he goes to the NFL.
I don't think you'll see it.
USC's coaching job is going to come open, and I'm telling you right now, Urban Meyer at USC makes so much sense.
Yeah. I honestly don't know who we would hire.
The only person I could see you guys hiring would be Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator for the
That's a
Patriots.
good
I can
hire.
see that.
Well, here's the thing.
I can see he's
Well,
going somewhere else.
You mentioned him. The Colts are so fortunate they didn't get him because look what Frank Reich is doing with
Frank Reich's
Andrew
doing
Luck.
great.
So I don't know if I would want Josh McDaniels. What's he gonna do? Call Tebow up?
I hope so. I hope so. I fucking love Tim Tebow. I love him
You
so
call
much.
yourself a Kentucky fan?
Oh, I love Tim Tebow.
I do.
He's a big
I
Tebow.
do love Tim Tebow.
Well, you loved him because you won with him on college football. That's the reason why you were
Yes,
like,
I did.
Oh no,
option.
I loved him when the game in Denver. I knew I loved Tim Tebow after that. I was like, Jesus.
We don't talk about that.
Jesus.
We don't talk about that game. No, no.
I can see Josh McDaniels either going to either one team we're talking about, the Packers or
See, Packers actually
I
makes
can,
more
I'm gonna
sense.
say, I can see that making more sense than
But
Dallas.
see, for me, Dallas actually is. I may have it wrong where he's at right now, but it's John DeFilippo is the offensive coordinator at Minnesota.
Not for sure.
No,
He
I'm
was
not sure.
he was the offensive coordinator. He was the quarterback coach in Philly last year.
Okay.
With Frank Reich as the offensive coordinator, you had Doug Peterson. So I think it would make a lot of sense because he's going to come in and run a college-style offense.
Yeah.
Because you watch how Minnesota's played a little bit. Like, their offense is a lot of short shovel passes.
Yeah. And that would work great for that young Dallas offense. I mean, you
Yes,
got
it would.
you got new tight ends coming in. You got Dak and Zeke are still on their rookie contracts and everything.
Yes.
I mean, it would definitely work with the speed that Amari Cooper's got
Yeah.
now too. It would
Yeah.
work great.
The biggest problem for them is what happened, what they did a couple weeks ago in trading away what could possibly
A
be a
first-round
top
pick.
10 first-round pick
With
for Amari Cooper.
yeah, with Golden Tate going for like a third round
It was a third round.
and Demaryius Thomas going for a second round,
but
Yeah.
fifth round. I thought it was like a third. Yeah, I don't see Amari Cooper being a first round talent.
No,
he's 24.
I'm sorry. Chris Thomas was a fourth-round pick.
Okay,
Josh
third
Gordon
and
was a
fourth.
fifth-round
Yeah,
pick.
third and fourth. Yeah, three,
He's
four, five.
24.
I still don't see him worth the first round. I feel
He's-
like you could fill a hole in your defense for that. I could see a third or second
Like-
round pick.
Like, look, you could have went out and traded for Golden Tate and traded a third-round pick.
I would rather have Amari Cooper than Golden
You're crazy.
Tate.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
No.
You're crazy.
You're
Honestly, I
100%
would.
crazy.
Honestly, I would.
Golden Tate hasn't dropped the ball nearly enough
I
to
honestly,
be in Amari Cooper's.
I somehow hope that the Raiders don't re-sign Derek Carr after his contract is up, and he somehow ends up in Dallas.
I think they'll trade him.
I love Derek Carr.
How many picks can he get? How many picks can Josh Gruden get? Will he accumulate?
Well, and the thing is, John Gruden has never been known for being a good personnel guy anyway.
Yeah.
Which, can we talk about the Raiders for a second?
Awful.
Please.
They are the scum of the NFL right now.
But it's amazing. It's wonderful to watch. Like, it's great. Like, watching John Gruden on the sideline, like, watching him just be dumbfounded is beautiful. Like,
Especially the 49ers third string quarterback. Oh, I love it. Man, it
Yes,
is great
like-
to see.
like Nick Mullins, like, the only people that would know him are Kentucky fans who watched him beat them 2 years ago. Like, as soon as I heard that name, I'm like, wait a minute. I've heard of him before. They said Southern Miss. I'm like, yep, that's where I heard his name before.
Yeah.
Like, it just like watching him look like Joe Montana for 4 quarters. Watching him
For a game.
Like, I mean, everybody say, "Oh, look, the second coming." Like, it just.
You got
the thing is,
Jimmy
like Derek Carr.
Garoppolo.
You bring up Derek Carr. Derek Carr's numbers in that game. He got hurt in that game, but
Yeah.
dude was 16 for 21, 171 yards. So he didn't play bad, but he got sacked 7 times. That offensive line is atrocious.
Yeah.
And they're the highest paid offensive line in the league.
Yeah. And Dallas last week on their bye week, they fired their offensive line coach
Yes.
because Dak Prescott got sacked 22 times. Like, yeah.
Through most of the whole season, not
Yeah.
1 week.
Yeah,
not
not
1 week.
yeah,
Oh, that'd
no.
be awful. That'd be
Yeah.
slaughter.
No, that would be terrible.
That's
But yeah.
That's
almost like,
something I've done on Madden, but
that's almost like the Bengals last year.
Yeah, well,
Aiden
it
was
was
destroyed.
your
Destroyed.
offensive line coach.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's the funny thing. The offensive line coach for
Dallas.
Dallas was at
That's what I-
Cincinnati
yeah.
last year.
That's what I was saying. Yeah,
And
and
they switched. It.
yeah,
Didn't your
Yeah,
offense
we
coordinator
have
go-
Dallas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we have
Dallas.
Dallas.
and that's
Traded
why
up
you're
and-
welcome. You're welcome. That's why Joe Mixon looks so good.
And Dalton stays upright most of the time.
Yeah,
They're much improved, but there's so much more that can be done.
yeah, yeah.
Well, sure, but
And Billy Price has been hurt the whole season.
But here's the
basically,
thing with Cincy, man. Like, Cincinnati's played fine. Like, their losses this year have been to Carolina.
we should have won
Which,
that game.
by the way,
We should have won that game.
let's bring up Carolina for a second. They're the most quiet 6-2 team I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, no one's talking about
And
them.
Cam Newton's put up the same numbers he did in his MVP season.
Better.
Actually better. His
Yeah.
his completion rate is the highest it's ever
Have
been.
you,
Better.
And nobody's talking about it.
his completion, his
Well, because
stats just inside the red zone are monstrous. I think he's got like an 80% completion rate, 0 interceptions, and like 22 touchdowns and 4 rushing touchdowns.
Well, it's because
He's
you
on
He's
have
not fantasy quarterback. Thank you.
you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes taking all the spotlight because he's so young.
Yeah.
Actually, right now, Patrick Mahomes probably isn't even the favorite for MVP.
Honestly, he's my favorite. Like
Breeze right now,
I
I
can-
would say.
With
Believe in
Breeze,
Breeze's-
with all the career stats and everything he's reached this year, he's obviously getting a little bit more like
I
spotlight
think
and
with him
stuff.
being like, it's probably going to be his last year
I-
and everything. I could see him going out like Elway. Like going
Expect-
out
yeah.
win a Super Bowl
Yeah, that's
and
what I was about to
walk
say.
away.
That would be perfect.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Teddy Bridgewater takes over next year.
You think that's?
I don't think Teddy Bridgewater does. I think Hill does. Number
No,
7.
actually, I think Taysom Hill just turns into like a Cordell Stewart.
Yeah.
Like was back in the day with Pittsburgh. And just, could be your receiver, come in and play a quarterback,
Like
play,
Lamar.
running back.
Yeah.
Can literally, no, okay,
Lamar.
fine, we're getting to that. Okay, that is the most misused I've ever seen a player.
Oh, it is. It is.
It's
for sure.
ridiculous. Like, John Harbaugh is on the hot seat, and yet he's misusing a player that, who could probably come out and play no worse than Joe Flacco. Like, Joe Flacco has been a joke ever since they won that Super Bowl. They only won that Super Bowl because of Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed, Haloti Ngata, like everybody on the defense.
Yeah,
defense.
Like that defense and, the wife beater now known as Ray Rice.
I
But
thought he was going to come back. He never did.
No, he did, didn't he? And then he,
No.
and
He
he
tried.
got, like,
No one
He
would
tried-
sign him. No one
he
would
went
sign
to
him.
Buffalo, right? Or
He
no,
never
I'm
made
thinking,
it
I'm thinking of
No,
somebody else.
No, he made a practice squad, and that was it. And
That's
he got
right.
cut
I
the
thought
week he
2
got
years
signed.
most. 2 years at the most, he'd be back. Nope. Boy never came
I,
back.
doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. I just,
I don't know. I just thought he
Well,
would.
it's just like, that just comes down to,
Ray
like I
Lewis
said, I don't want
killed
to
a
get into politics.
Ray Lewis
but-
killed a guy. He came back.
Never
Allegedly.
proven.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, like, I mean, hey, I'm a Steelers fan. We're all about allegedly. On
Yeah, well,
big
there's
games.
there's no video of Ray Rice. I'm sorry, Ray
Oh,
Lewis
there's a video of
killing.
Ray Rice.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no video.
Yeah,
of Ray, there is video of Ray Rice just socking his wife
least
or
he
whatever.
I
in
mean,
an elevator.
At
it
least
almost
he
looked like
And
he
the
got
pulls out.
lessons from Floyd Mayweather.
It
Like,
really
here's
does.
how you throw a punch.
Well, see,
Yeah.
He was
see,
the hardest hit
Joe
I've
Mixon
ever
got
seen.
it. Joe
Yeah,
Mixon
he
learned
pulled
from Ray Rice
Oh, no, let's
too.
not talk about Joe Mixon.
I mean, and then we definitely don't want to talk about Greg Hardy, do we?
Oh,
And now he's taking his talents into MMA where he's
Yeah.
undefeated.
Yeah. All right. Well,
we'll go.
So here's the thing. I'll bring up Cam Newton's numbers right now. 67% completion percentage.
Not bad.
His
Yeah.
quarterback
Good.
rating is 100. Is 100.8. He has 1,893 yards passed. Not that much. It's really not. Like, they're not really throwing the ball that much. It's a lot of just short passes or a lot of sweeps. Hand the ball off to McCaffrey.
I like McCaffrey.
Oh, that offense is really impressive to watch. It's really fun to watch. Watching him, like, they run their offense the way Dallas should.
basically, yes.
Yeah, it's like, and he has 15 touchdowns, only 4 picks, but he's been sacked 12 times still. So at times he still does hold on to it a lot, like way too much.
But with that kind of player, I guess that's to be expected.
Well, of course.
You know? So you got to take that how you will, but
I mean, as a fan of Ben Roethlisberger, you want to talk about holding on to the ball too long.
but his pocket awareness is perfect.
Oh,
It
it's
is.
arguably the best in the league.
It's beautiful to watch. I hate it.
Like it was beautiful to see it in person a few weeks ago, like especially on that last drive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to bring up Steelers Bengals. Don't want to.
I'm coming to terms with it. But while we're there, let's talk about the race for the AFC North. So how about we? I have claimed today that with AJ Green out, basically we're done.
In the division, sure. I still think you're going to make the playoffs. Look,
Yeah, you can still make it. I mean,
I'm not even entirely for sure.
well, next week you lose for sure, but
but here's the thing. Look, you're 5-3, and the next teams closest to you are Miami at 5-4. Are we sold on Miami?
No,
I am.
No.
Yeah, I'm not. But I'm
They
also.
beat the Jets because the Jets suck, not
But we're
because
the
they're good.
Bengals. We know how to lose.
Brock Osweiler.
That's the thing. They have a
That's one thing
quarterback
that
problem
Brock
right now.
Osweiler knows how to do, especially
Just
when.
lose, yes.
Well, no, when he was in Denver, he just found a way to make it to the playoffs and just choke it away.
Well, see, I love me some Tyler Boyd, but
Yeah.
we've never seen him as the number one guy. This week we're going to. And
Well, I
don't
mean,
know if
it's
John
only
Ross
his
is-
second year in the league, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was out of Pittsburgh the year before that. Well,
Right.
he played in college.
This
Pittsburgh.
is a
with
great-
Connor.
James
Yeah,
Conner.
with James Conner.
But we've never seen him.
They swapped jerseys at that game.
See, Boyd is good when AJ Green, is getting double covered, and
Well, yeah.
Sure.
he's making all
He
the right
tore us
moves.
up.
Yeah,
It's like Juju. Like when
Yeah.
AB's covered, when
Mhm.
AB's double
exactly,
team.
and that's what we all needed. We needed another
Well,
receiver, and we
But
got
here's my
one.
thing, so if he's the number one guy, so does CJ Uzama start getting a lot of targets?
This is a
And
great.
I like Uzama a lot.
I do too. I miss Eifert.
Look, I mean, what happened to Tyler Croft? Like he's still he's still hurt.
I think so. Yeah,
Is John Ross hurt?
he hasn't played the last few games. I haven't seen if he's like because we had a bye.
He
week.
He played against us for against Pittsburgh for a couple plays, but that was about it. Like
Well, didn't
he
he?
used Erickson a lot.
He played a little bit.
I like Erickson. He just got that
He's a
extension.
hell of a punt returner.
Yeah, but that's about it. Like they never let him play. They never throw the ball really.
No,
Hardly ever.
you'll run some reverses. You'll run some trick plays for him.
Well, do y'all know the name of Auden Tate? I know I talked about him when the season first
Yeah,
started.
yeah,
We
I
got
remember.
him, Auden
Yeah.
Tate. He's a receiver we had, and he's what is he, 6? He's tall.
He's a giant. Yeah,
Is he
he's
the one that's
tall.
like 6'8",
Yeah.
6'7"?
And they cut him, and they
say
signed him to the
LeBron.
practice squad.
Yeah.
Put him in. Plug him in. I want to see what this kid can do. And he's so big he'd be a tight end, but he said he doesn't want to be a tight end. He's a receiver.
Right.
Popeye's
He's
biscuit
slow.
away.
He's slow, but he's so tall. He's just ball hawking everybody.
So do you just use him like
Kevin Benjamin and all those guys.
Who's Kelvin
Michael
Benjamin?
Crabtree.
Did y'all watch Monday Night Football 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Where Booger
Pop-
McFarland
Popeye's
stopped
biscuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Popeye biscuit away from being a tight end. Like
That
yes. Because he is.
He really is.
Like well it's like if you actually watch Josh Gordon for the Patriots, he actually looks like he's about a Twinkie away from being a tight end. Like it's don't want to do copyright infringement and say Popeye biscuit too, but just like a lot of guys right now look a lot bigger than they should.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
It's slow. Like a lot of wide receivers look a lot slower.
they fill a niche role, like especially those guys get strong hands, things like that. You got your speed guy, like with Tampa Bay.
Sure.
We have Mike Evans. He's a big, strong guy. He's
Yeah,
going
but
to
he
catch
is
the ball.
fast enough.
He
He's
is
not,
fast enough.
He's no Deshaun Jackson, but
Yeah, exactly. That's why we got a Deshaun Jackson who can go out and just absolutely burn corners and burn safeties without
I
even
think Chris Godwin will
blinking.
go underneath.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I said, everyone's got to fill that niche role, and that's like how Dez was for the Cowboys. They lose that niche role, and then they're struggling for the receiving game.
But yeah, here's the other. So we were talking about the Bengals. You have Miami, you have Tennessee, you have Baltimore, you have the Colts, you have Jacksonville, and then outside of that, those are the only teams that are within like 2 games of
We're better
Cincinnati.
than all those teams.
Hey, thank you.
We're better
If
than all
you-
those teams.
If you don't come in healthy to play the Colts, you lose. You had a close game week 1 or 2.
Yeah, but here's
That
the
was
thing.
week
You
one.
lost it.
That was
lost it based on a tight end error where he fumbles the ball.
But that was week 1.
Still,
We've grown. Okay.
I know, but
The
if
Colts have
Listen,
you've grown with your hurt.
Hey, hey, we don't want to bring up week 1.
Yeah.
We tied with the Browns.
And then,
Yes.
is that the day you decided to buy a Baker Mayfield jersey?
no, it was week 2.
Week
Week
two.
2 is when I bought that. Yeah,
So
week 2.
when they lost to the Saints,
It
when
was
the
when
kicker
the
cost
game-
them the
yeah,
Saints
yeah,
game.
it was week 2.
Was it?
Yeah, it was week 2 when I got the Baker.
That
jersey.
was Baker when first started. When he first started, yeah, it was when Tyrod got hurt. It was when Tyrod got a concussion. That's
Oh
when he
yeah,
bought it.
that's right.
Okay,
So it was
fine.
week
Well,
3. Week 3.
The Bengals
against
made the
Jets.
wild card. If we play the Steelers, it doesn't really matter. It's almost like we didn't even make it.
It's
almost like-
Look, because look, even if you do outplay us for most of the game, Vontae's perfect. We'll lose it for you.
So I was always a fan of Montez, but now the production doesn't match the penalties
Really?
and just all the negative
Well,
stuff.
see, like when Cincinnati played Pittsburgh a few weeks
That's
ago,
a different game though. He
played
wants
his
to
butt
play
off.
hard. He
That's
wants
true.
to play hard.
we played good against Tampa for a half.
For a
That whole second half. I don't know where the defense went.
Ryan.
Like once Ryan
Fitzpatrick
Fitzpatrick came in, like which Fitzmagic died again this week. Which it wasn't his fault. Like his defense can't stop a
Defense is
nosebleed.
awful. Yeah.
Like I don't get how you shut the Steelers out for a half. Like it was 30 to 14 that week, and then Buccaneers come back and almost
Yeah.
win that game,
Bring
even
it back.
though
If we can keep
Pittsburgh doesn't score the whole second half.
if we can keep a first half, if we go into the halftime losing by 14, have a great chance of winning the game. But if we just let people score 28, 20, like 30-something points on us, like, well, we got to dig ourselves out of this hole that we've dug. And, like, it's not impossible, but very hard to come back from.
Well, it's like, as a gambling man, Tampa Bay overs are so easy. It's so easy because, look, they're going to put up 30, and the team they're playing is going to probably put up 40.
Yeah.
Like, it's just how it works.
No defense is played when either team comes to town, really.
All right, so going into next week's predictions,
Oh my god.
I guess we'll start with the Thursday night game. The
Best game of the week
Panthers and the Steelers.
in Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna go with the Panthers. You know, we mentioned Cam Newton was having
Hater.
an MVP caliber season. You know, I just think that he brings that to the table. I think that he plays with a chip on his shoulder because he does every game. I just think that Carolina comes out with this win
On the road?
on the road. Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys think? I have no pick in this because you know my pick. Look, okay, I'll give you my reasoning for it then. Like, one, Pittsburgh's run offense has kind of, even without Le'Veon Bell, with I almost said C.J. Johnson for some reason, James Conner has just absolutely been a monster. Like, you look at his numbers, like, compared to Le'Veon Bell. So go ahead and bring this up now. So you've got Conner is averaging 88 yards a game, rushing yards a game, 4.7 yards per attempt. Already has nine touchdowns on the season. On a team who we average passing the ball 40 times a game. He's got, he averages almost 10 yards per catch. He only averages 19 rushes per game. Like, he's not even the main focal point on this offense, and he's turned out to be, arguably, outside of Antonio Brown, the most important part of this offense. Like, if Pittsburgh can't get the running game going, they're probably going to struggle. So, you look at, like, Le'Veon being gone has actually helped Pittsburgh out more than anything because it's made them realize, hey, we don't have to pay this guy
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
$18, $19 million a year he wants for the next 6 years. When you've got a guy like James Conner who can come in and just, if you watch him, he just plays so much harder with, just with a guy, he's with his background. It just seems like he plays like it's going to be his last game, like every time he plays, because you don't know if he's going to stay healthy and his cancer will stay in remission. So you keep Conner, you let Bell go.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I would. That's a smart move. And, I mean, honestly, at this point, well, you can't trade him now. But, like,
Right.
I would have traded him.
Like, on average, like, James Conner's averages just as many catches per game.
Yeah.
More receiving yards per game, 47.4 to 42.9. And James Conner this season already has 10 total touchdowns. Le'Veon Bell has only had a total, his highest for a season is 11. Le'Veon Bell has only played one full season. I mean, Conner's done more in 8 games than Le'Veon's done in 16.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, the reason I feel like Conner wasn't, like, what is it? If Le'Veon doesn't sign, what do they get, like a 5th-round compensation pick in, like, 2 years or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, teams stayed away from him. Like, one, they know they have to put up at least more than that, like a 4th or 3rd round. But I just feel like they're staying away from him because, I mean, really what Le'Veon is right now, he's a rental player. I mean,
Sure.
obviously he's there for a year. I could see a team that was wanting to make a playoff run shoot for him, like the Saints maybe, but they have 2 great running backs already.
Yeah, like
I
they
mean,
wouldn't need him.
Yeah, they wouldn't need him. Like, and if you think about it, the people who would need him aren't gonna pay that for him. There's no need for it.
Like, if you look at the teams in the playoff race, like, there's really everybody in the playoff hunt doesn't need him except for the Eagles. The Eagles and maybe the Packers.
Yeah.
And then if you want to throw the Colts in there, but Marlon Mack has not played bad the last 2 weeks.
Well, with all that being said, I got Pittsburgh in this game at home.
Yeah, sorry to get off on the 10.
If the game, what's going to win this game is how well Pittsburgh holds Carolina on rushing yards. For that, I think Pittsburgh's going to come out on top. I think they have a more electrifying offense. I don't think Carolina's defense is going to be able to contain them just as well as Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's defense is going to play better than Carolina's defense.
Well, here's the thing. Pittsburgh has the 6th ranked rushing defense in the league, but the 21st passing defense. So Cam Newton's just going to have to beat them.
Yeah.
I think, and you have to ask yourself, can Cam Newton outplay Big Ben in Heinz Field?
I don't want that.
I can't see it.
I don't want that matchup. I really don't.
Like, it's just like, we'll see. Like, I could see a scenario where Carolina comes out and just plays better, where they could just possibly be a better team. But Pittsburgh has won 5 in a row or 4 in a row, and it doesn't look like they're going to be slowing down anytime soon. I hope not.
All right, so we got Pittsburgh 3-1 on that one, and I guess we'll move on down to the next one, New Orleans and Cincinnati.
That's an easy game to pick. I mean,
It's not as easy as you think because it's in Cincinnati.
no, I really think it's an easy game.
I think that since the Rams come off, since the Saints come off that big win from the Rams, they're on their high horse.
Yeah.
AJ Green's not back.
all
I don't think
clicking.
Nick Vigil's back. John Ross. I don't think John Ross is back.
If he is, he's not full.
And even if he is, what has he really done?
Yeah,
I think he's got 2 touchdowns. Two
Yeah.
touchdowns of the year.
yeah. I have New Orleans.
I'm not
on
giving
this.
up on John Ross yet, but I am disappointed. But
Mhm.
I think the Saints come in and just after seeing what Kansas City did to us,
Yeah,
I don't think we stand a chance against the Saints.
And that's what I'm saying. It'd be a similar game to the
Well,
Kansas City.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it's going to be that way because, one, it's not prime time. Look, Andy Dalton in prime time don't show up.
Oh, I know.
It's just how it works.
I'm with you.
Just like night
I'm with
games, man, they just lose. Like,
But I don't see us getting any pressure on Drew Brees. I just don't see it happening.
now, okay, if that's what happens, then yeah, you're probably going to get torched all day
Yeah,
long.
I
any
just don't
team.
see it. Our defense
Yeah.
our defense going into the season was the highlight of the team.
Yeah, with
And
Gino and
Yeah, and then nope, we get this completely 180 flip, and the offense is rolling, and the defense sucks, and then we don't know how to handle it.
Well, I think, and I can't believe I'm saying this, you miss Pac-Man Jones. You miss Pac-Man Jones. Like, you need somebody to keep the back end of the secondary because you miss him and you miss George Iloka. George
I think
Iloka.
Gep's gonna cry.
Like, am I wrong? Like,
No,
get rid of George Iloka might have been one of the biggest mistakes you ever
I
made.
understood the Pac-Man. I didn't like the Iloka one.
Like, you didn't want the contract, but look what he's doing in Minnesota, by the way, with former defensive coordinator from Cincinnati. But, so with that said, I guess I'd go Saints.
Okay.
I go Saints just because, for the same reason I go Steelers. You don't bet against Big Ben. You don't bet against Drew Brees.
Clean sweep on that one. However, the Bengals do win. I'm celebrating.
Hey, you have every right to.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Atlanta, Cleveland.
Atlanta.
Cleveland.
Ooh.
Nope. I think it's a steal. I mean,
It is at home for the Browns.
for the Browns, and I mean it's an Atlanta team that's kind of mediocre this year. They're not really doing anything.
Hey, Afro Man, put down the joint. Atlanta. Atlanta's gonna kill Cleveland. Atlanta by 30.
I'm all for. I love the Cleveland Browns. I always want them to win, but
They're out this
look,
year. I think
look.
they're done this year. They're
I
done
actually,
already.
Yeah.
as a Steeler fan, I have a tweet where I've literally said, after watching him roast Colin Cowherd in the offseason,
Oh yeah.
I said, give me a Baker Mayfield jersey right now. I was a big fan of Baker Mayfield in college.
Yeah.
So I like him.
Love the Ohio State game, by the way.
I do too. I hate Ohio State, so I loved it. But for me, it's not him. Everything that's going on around there, all that dysfunction and everything.
the coaching, it's upper management.
Give me Atlanta.
Yeah.
Give me Atlanta just because Matt Ryan is playing really good football right now. That defense is not that good, but Atlanta, that offense is really good.
Especially when you have probably offensive rookie of the year Calvin Ridley on your team.
Yes.
It
And you've
definitely
got Tevin
helps.
Coleman who's finally
Yeah.
decided to show up.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely got a lot of offensive weapons there in Atlanta. So, other big games.
I guess the NFC second place game, Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm picking Dallas.
Oh.
You
I am.
did you watch
Oh.
the primetime game?
I did. I watched it. I watched that now.
You do know the game is in Philly, right?
I know what I'm saying. I'm still picking Dallas.
What's the Dallas fan have to say?
I don't know. You're gonna have to come back to me because I'm really thinking about this now.
I'm going with Philadelphia.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah, this has got to be a must-win for them, especially if they want to stay competitive.
Yeah, because if Philly loses,
Yeah,
they would be
they'd be third, like 2 or 3 games.
They would be 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And if Washington can, start, if they can go in and beat Tampa, which I know we'll get to that game,
Yeah.
but
It'll
they can still put a distance on that lead.
But that's what, especially this is a divisional game. They need to win it.
Yes.
If Washington, I think honestly, is holding on. I don't see Washington winning the division.
Me neither.
I could see it being the Eagles again,
Probably.
but that division's not strong. This
I really
year
want to
at
see
all.
how that Golden Tate trade looks this week.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be a
That's
great.
going to be really interesting to see him on the inside with Aguilar and Jeffrey on the outside. It's going to be really interesting to watch. And you have Zach Ertz on the other side of it.
And that's
That
what
offense has so many weapons.
Yeah, and that's what I love about that Philadelphia team. And they're a big fan of that, I guess, rental player type where they got LeGarrette Blunt last year
Mm-hmm.
and Jay Ajayi, and they're like, we don't really need LeGarrette Blunt anymore. We'll trade him to the Lions. And like they got Jay Ajayi now, and they just picked up Golden Tate. So I'm all for Philadelphia and what they're doing, and I think that they're making moves now to try and win championships like they did last year. And I still think they can. I think they surprise people and make a playoff run. So I'm gonna go with Philly.
All right. I'm gonna go with Dallas.
All right, so we got a tie.
So my reasoning
Yeah,
about
big one, so
this is really hard for me to choose. One because it's a rival, and I really don't want to choose Philadelphia.
But you
I
know how the
really
Cowboys
don't.
play against Philadelphia.
But-
I don't know, just something like last week. I said my heart was telling me Saints and just something Saints.
Isn't it weird, though, that Dallas normally play better at Philly?
Yeah, no, they play. Historically, before this year, they play better away than they do at home. This year they suck. But I mean, like they've only won all their games at home this year. But
Well, Monday.
yeah, all their wins have come from home still, though.
Okay, gotcha.
That-
He worded it weird. He said we won all our home games.
So,
Not
like-
all our home games never mind.
So, I think that Dak Prescott finally realizes the difference between a sneeze and a wet fart. I think that I think that this offense starts to click. Jason Garrett, God help me. I hope if he loses this game, he's out.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
For sure.
That's one of the things he's got to realize.
sure.
That he's got to
Yeah,
fight
no.
now.
There's
He's
a hot
got to
seat.
go.
There's a hot
Well,
seat
there's-
in Dallas for everybody that's not named Ezekiel Elliott.
You mean Jerry Jones?
Basically, yeah.
Here's the thing with Dak Prescott, though, man. 63% completion percentage. 1,600 yards. Now, that's not great. 10 touchdowns, only 5 picks. 4 fumbles doesn't look good.
Yeah, and I mean,
But he's taking 28 sacks.
yeah.
That offensive line is doing him no favors.
Yeah, and we saw. I mean, there was an improvement this week, a little bit since we fired our offensive line coach. I mean, it's a little bit of improvement, but it's gonna take some time.
Here's the other, I didn't realize this. He averages 6 yards a carry. Run the ball.
Yeah, and that's what I said. If we learn how to utilize this run option, we're winning at least 9 games this year.
I was watching Monday night against the Titans. His decision making is not there yet. It's just not. He sits there and he holds on to the ball too long,
Yeah,
and he has to. When he wants to run, it's too late, and he goes to running, it's a yard.
He doesn't know where to pick his
at
nose
that
or
point-
wipe his ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott or Jameis Winston.
Oh, Dak Prescott.
I'm
all day.
taking Dak Prescott. James Winston is terrible. I kept saying for years. I've said, give
So,
Jameis Winston a little bit more time to develop. A little bit more time.
A little more,
It's
a little more, a
I'm
little
done.
more, a
little
He's
more.
had his time. We need to just.
Sounds like Thon Maker.
He's not getting his fifth year
Yeah.
option.
So like I've said, Jameis Winston's a great playmaker. Honestly, like he
can be.
he can make
or
plays.
He can ruin your
but
life.
but there's sometimes where he tries to extend a play when it doesn't need to be extended.
Yeah.
Like and
Exactly.
that's what his
Throw
downfall is.
unnecessary picks.
Because he did it in
fumble the
college,
ball.
and you're just like, you know.
That's an edit.
But if Dak Prescott can be if Jerry Jones and the coaching staff can hand the keys over to Dak and say just go play football, and he can go out and he can make decisions on a timely manner and not wait till the last second to figure out whether or not he's going to run the ball or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
then he can be successful.
Well, there was a play on Monday night. I think it was like 3rd and 14. A man had a clean pocket, rolls out, I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's been sacked 28 times this season.
There's no need.
He's been
He's
sacked 28
scared.
But
times.
it's still a clear pocket.
He's like, I've been here too long.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
I
not
mean,
a pocket
yeah,
passer.
like
When has Dak ever been a
his
pocket
internal.
passer?
I mean, yeah. Like you're correct.
You haven't
His-
had. I was gonna say you haven't had a true pocket passer before True Aikman, but Tony Romo's a
Tony
good
Romo's-
example. Yeah,
yeah.
I forgot.
but like, you know, he completes more passes when he's out of the pocket. We saw that in 2016. Yeah, he completes better when he's like under pressure, but sometimes too much pressure is bad.
I can't believe anybody's gonna say this, but you missed Des Bryant, dude.
I do.
You have to.
Honestly,
Okay.
can you imagine if we had Des Bryant and Amari Cooper on the same team though? But I mean, I feel like
I don't
A lot
think
of
he
drop
should.
passes.
Yeah.
I think there'd be a fight in the locker room.
I don't know if Dez. I don't know. Dez might be done.
No, he got to work out with
Oh,
the
that's right.
Saints.
We're
with
gonna
the
say that. I forgot about that.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, Sean Payton is a genius. It's like,
I would love to see that happen.
I don't think.
I
don't-
don't think it does.
Michael Thomas already there. The offensive
Don't
weapons they
come
have.
at me.
They'll win. They'll win. If they get Dez, they'll win the Super Bowl.
So,
If they get
so
Dez.
the only reason I don't think that is because Dez wants more money than he needs.
But at this
Did
point,
he
though,
work?
He'll know it. He'll
but
know
at this
it.
point, don't you think he'll just take something?
No.
Really? Because like nobody else is biting.
I know Dez. Trust me.
But
Trust
nobody's
me.
biting. Like if he doesn't take this,
Dez
he doesn't get anything.
Dez is that egotistical.
He
I
thought
promise
he
you.
thought he was MVP, and everyone's realized I'm not MVP. He
Yeah.
thought people would come after him, so it just didn't happen.
I honestly thought as soon as we released him, he was going to New England. I honestly thought he was going to New
I thought he'd
England.
go to New York, the Giants. I thought he'd go to the Giants because he said he was
Can
going to
you-
play you. He said he was going to go to a divisional
Can you
rival.
imagine that you go
Rival.
in that locker room,
well, him and
OBJ, and
well, see, that would be no worse than when they had Brandon Marshall and OBJ.
Yeah.
So, I honestly thought Washington made the most sense at the time.
yeah,
Because they literally have nobody
They
to throw
don't.
to.
they really don't.
You have like a 45-year-old Adrian Peterson in the backfield, and Alex Smith, who came fresh out of Kansas. So, really,
Scrub.
yeah.
All right,
Never
so
been an Alex Smith fan.
back to this game. It goes back to Noah.
Noah,
Oh, yeah.
the tiebreaker. Philadelphia or Dallas?
It really helped if I knew anything about football.
Don't say that. It's a big one.
I'll go with Philly,
All right, I like it.
That was bold.
just because I feel like
Home
they
field
won the
advantage.
Super
Just say home.
Bowl, and they home field advantage, and they
Past has
they,
nothing to do with it. Super
But,
Bowl's
like,
nothing to do with it.
They are
I
coming off
feel
a
bad
bye.
if I won the Super Bowl and then just did
It's a great.
with their record.
Honestly, the only reason it was a close call for me is because Philadelphia's coming off of a bye week. Like, and that kind of scares me.
My heart's telling me Dallas.
Mine is
After watching Stephen A. Smith just rip
Oh.
Dallas.
Dude, that was wonderful.
Troy Aikman did it too. Troy
They
Aikman
just
did it on the radio.
The fan base just nope.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, and I mean, at this point, that's what it is. Like, you're finding out who the true Dallas fans are, which honestly,
Not that many.
You're like, man, I really wish I wasn't.
I swear, if they don't fire Jason Garrett, whoever's listening, I will sell you my Dallas Cowboy stuff for $2 a piece.
Oh wow,
Dylan, everything you hype up.
I'll think about it.
goes wrong.
that's a good point.
Everything you hype up just doesn't work out.
All right.
Everything you talk smack about
Damn, Noah.
works out.
See, got a good point.
It's
He's
true,
got a
I
good
mean, he
point.
probably comes in the top and he just throws the hammer
I'm
down.
gonna attack you personally.
Okay. Like, you know what? I'm going to be quiet the whole time and then I'm going to shit all over you. Like,
It's true.
That's
though.
a style.
Okay,
Alright.
so basically, I was wrong last year about like the Hornets getting Dwight Howard, just making an absolute push for the playoffs, and they just
told you.
Well, I mean, he's already messed up the Wizards. He's played like 2 games, and they're already terrible. So
All right, so
We'll get to that eventually.
yeah.
going on to the Rolling Thunder round, we have the Jaguars and the Colts. I have Jaguars in this.
Leonard Fournette is back this week.
He is, but I don't think that it matters, that much because he's coming back. I just think Blake Bortles, has a game hopefully.
See, Yeldon's actually played fine anyway, but I think I go Colts at home. I go Indy.
I got Jacksonville.
I'm gonna go Jacksonville as well. I have
Yes.
faith in Jacksonville.
All right, Bills and the Jets.
Bills.
Jesus.
No, I got the
That's
Jets.
a bad game. That's a bad game.
Jesus.
I have the Jets. I think Sam Darnold shows the
Shows it up.
Bills that he's not part of the
Well,
worst
here's the
team.
thing, like, the Bills' defense isn't bad, and I don't mean to go on a tandem, but the Bills' defense isn't bad. It's that offense. But yeah, I still go Jets.
I'm going Jets as well.
Jets. All right. Patriots and Titans. Patriots.
Patriots.
Patriots got to play a lot better than they did for Green Bay, but still, they're going to win.
Here's the thing. Belichick's already lost one game against his former assistants.
Yeah.
He's facing one of his former assistants. But they still win this week. They're going to beat the Titans.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
It's getting
Oh,
nervous.
this is an even worse game. The Chargers and the Raiders.
Still the Chargers.
I got the Chargers. Yeah.
Chargers are
Another
like
team that's really quiet at 6-2.
just like
Yeah.
Carolina. They're a really good team, but they're
yeah,
quiet.
but here's the thing.
They
You're
always
waiting.
disappoint.
Everybody
They
is
always
waiting. Everybody
disappoint.
is waiting on Phillip Rivers to choke.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like
Because
I
he does
said.
it every year.
Yep.
Okay. Next game: Cardinals and Chiefs. Chiefs.
Oh, I wonder what this would be.
Chiefs.
The Master Chiefs.
Chiefs. I like it.
You have to like it. I mean,
Yeah.
the Cardinals are garbage.
Hot garbage.
Dolphins and Green Bay. Green Bay.
I got the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
I got Dolphins because of injuries.
Go Pack, go. Go
Oh,
Green Bay.
At home, at home I could see Green Bay.
Well, we already
Yeah, in
know
Lambeau in November. Yeah, give me Green Bay.
the team
Noah?
they got.
The Cheeseheads.
The Chiefs heads.
I
All
still
right.
like Cheeseheads.
If I thought about that more, I probably would have switched over to Green
All
Bay
right.
too.
Lions and the Bears.
The Bears.
Go Bears.
I have the Bears.
Yeah,
The Bears.
it's a sweep.
Bears.
Sweep.
Redskins and Tampa Bay.
Sorry, buddy.
Tampa Bay all the way.
It's Redskins.
I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay.
Mm.
I need Tampa Bay to win for
Here's the
Alex's
thing.
sake.
Okay, here's the thing. In Tampa, Alex Smith's a scrub.
But you're also at fifth.
But our defense.
He's very bad.
Yeah,
But see,
but
their
our
offense
defense.
is not explosive, so
You just basically have to stop Adrian Peterson.
Our offense is
their
explosive?
offense is
Okay, I'm gonna say, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
no, all your
that's
your
what,
own-
that's
and
what
their
our offense
defense
is.
and their defense just got scorched by Atlanta.
Yeah,
Give me Tampa.
I like it. I'm definitely watching that. I'm gonna
Give me
be.
Tampa.
I like it.
All right.
Like, I just, like,
Seattle and the Rams.
Rams.
I think Seattle's gonna make it closer.
It's
than
in
we
LA,
think it
so
is.
yeah, but
LA's
It'll
gonna
be
play.
no Seattle and Rams always play. They always play a close
oh, it's gonna
game.
be super close.
Yeah, but no, I still got Rams on it. Yeah. Oh God, so bad,
God.
such bad games.
By the way, this is
It's
Monday
a
Night
Monday
Football.
football game. Yeah.
This is
Oh
Monday
my
night.
God!
Well,
Stop!
San Francisco's going back-to-back primetime games, by the way, on Mondays. Or was they last Thursday or were they Monday?
Last Thursday.
They played
They
the
were-
Raiders.
Right.
Yeah, so they're playing the bottom two. It's like literally the bottom like 30 to 32
But
teams
here's
that
the
played.
crazy thing. I stuttered. The Giants have played 2 Monday Night Football games now with this one.
Yeah.
So of the 49ers.
Yeah.
What nonsense is this?
Garbage. That's what it is.
This is like
It's garbage.
ESPN is worried about ratings and who look.
Yeah.
There's your problem. You have, I mean, this week, really, I mean, you could have had Saints, Bengals, Steelers, Panthers. Honestly, Falcons and Browns would be more entertaining
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah.
I
New
mean,
England, I would love to see New England and Tennessee, but I guess they were just
no.
Honestly, at
I
this
don't like
point,
watching Tennessee. Ugh.
at this point, I would have rather watched the Bills than the Jets.
Rams-
Just to
Rams-
see-
Rams- Seahawks.
Yeah,
Rams
Rams-
Seahawks
yeah.
would actually make a lot
Yeah.
of sense.
Yeah.
And honestly, like at the beginning of the season, the Thursday night games were atrocious, and now it's like I guess they just had the
Yeah,
even out the
they
crappiness. So
flipped
now
it.
Monday night, the next few Thursday night games are all really good, but the Monday night games just keep getting worse.
So for this game, give me Nick Mullins and the 49ers.
I really hope they beat them too. I think I'm gonna go with the Giants purely based on
Saquon
Saquon Barkley. Yeah,
See,
Saquon.
and that's honestly,
Yeah.
it's like you gotta ask yourself, who do you go with here?
Yeah.
Nick Mullins or Saquon Barkley?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Saquon. I'm gonna go with the Giants.
I'm gonna have to agree with that. I'll take the Giants.
I think San Francisco might have it just as the defense. The defense has played really well. They got Sherman back and
Mhm.
everything. But man, the Giants
And
are just
George
so, with
Kittle.
trading Eli Apple and everything, they're just kind of bad. I mean,
Still after
but
this
I
game,
still got the Giants.
after if our predictions are right, you're still a game ahead of Miami in the playoffs. So you're still in it.
I'll take it. Besides the Saints and the Steelers, we should win every other game we play, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We play you guys at the end of the season, so
Yeah. I
I
mean,
still
if you
agree
really
with
think
the
about it, we play the
Colts.
Browns twice. I think we can take the Browns.
Nah.
Oh,
I think you definitely beat them at home, in Cleveland. I don't know.
I put money on both of them, okay? that we win both those.
200 apiece.
50.
No, I would take that.
Put your money where your mouth is.
No. I'm saying it's 500. You guys split it.
I don't think so. I think we can take both of them.
No.
I don't think the Browns are done this year. I think they're not going to do anything else.
Hold on. So they play. Yeah, next week they have a bye week, and then they play you straight off of a bye week in Cincinnati.
We win that one.
Yeah.
You made a questioning face. We win that game.
I'll give you that one. They lose to Houston.
They lose to Carolina.
They lose to Carolina.
They lose at Denver. It's hard to win at Denver. I know they're not that good either, but give me at Denver. And then they lose.
I haven't beaten Cincinnati at home.
And then
losing to.
I think they beat Baltimore. They've already done it once. Why can't they do it again?
They're not beating us.
Baker's better than Joe Flacco. That's the end of the story.
Joe Mixon's going to have a game.
Depending on how Myles Garrett shows.
Joe Mixon will have a game.
Of
course, all you got to do is show up.
I will will it into existence. Joe Mixon will have several games.
There's still no time. There's still no timetable for AJ Green to return, is there?
He gets reevaluated in 2 weeks.
But he's just in a cast, right? It's not surgery.
Yes, he's in a boot.
Yeah, he's in a boot.
That is literally.
That's good news. That's good news.
That's the week you guys play Cleveland.
I think they can beat Cleveland just because Cleveland's. Like I said, all that dysfunction and discord.
It's falling apart when they lose. They lost to Tampa in a very close game, and then they got thwomped by the Steelers, and it was not good after that.
By the way, I don't know if y'all mentioned it or not.
That's like the
every year the Steelers, when the Steelers beat the Bengals the second time they play.
Browns.
Or what is it, Bengals?
Yeah.
I meant the Browns.
I wish we
found Well, here's the thing with firing Marvin Lewis. I don't know if you could get that would be better. Would you go hire Mike McCarthy? I think that'd be worse.
Would the result be really any different?
Probably not. You might get the playoffs, you won't win, so yeah, probably not.
There you go.
At least they make it.
There's a certain point where I think a head coach makes a huge difference.
Is the problem with Marvin Lewis or is it with Andy Dalton?
I don't think it's Andy Dalton because if you watch the first half of any game we play, we come out looking great. We come out firing on all cylinders. We score. In the second half, the offense changes.
Except for the Kansas City game. Keep going.
Yeah, okay. True. And then the offense really changes. Marvin Lewis, after halftime, if we have a big lead, which we generally this season have done a lot, the second half, he doesn't play to win anymore. He's playing to not lose that lead, but it backfires every time. Every time we will lose that lead, and we'll come away with we scrape by because he's so conservative. He doesn't want to risk it. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to keep going.
Right.
And you can't do that. You have got to keep going and going and going.
Sure.
You got to push it.
You got to put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, he coaches very similar to what Mark Stoops does in Kentucky.
Yeah, basically. And I hate to make that comparison. I honestly do, but
it makes a lot of sense.
It does. You have a
and the defense is really good, most Bengals teams are.
You have an above average running back that you just.
Well, real quick, if we're gonna make that quick transition, you at the Kentucky-Georgia.
Yes, I was.
Give us a little recap of that.
Okay. By the way,
I'm sorry you paid all that money to watch this.
Yes, okay. Here's the thing, I'm trying not to say anything that needs to be edited out. I paid $150 for a ticket for that game. So, here's the thing with that game. Energy was great.
Yeah.
Coming out that is the biggest Kentucky game, period, since probably about 2007 when they beat LSU.
Yeah.
That's the best crowd I've seen since they beat LSU. Maybe Florida last year when they came in, and they pissed that game away.
As they do.
When you don't guard receivers, it helps.
Yeah. Twice.
Yeah, twice. Yeah, that's right.
So, but for me, here's the problem with that game. Why do you, all of a sudden, all season, Kentucky's defense has just been all about hitting the other team in the mouth, come out, hit them early, do everything you can, and then what you do is you run a zone on Georgia. So you bring everybody back. So you let them come to you instead of going to them, and they've got some of the best athletes in
Yeah.
all of college football. Outside of maybe Alabama, they've got the best athletes in football. It's not close.
Well, I can tell you, like, why they did it. They wanted to surprise them. But in my experience, stick to your game plan.
Yes,
but like,
yes.
yeah, like that's one thing that Ferrall was good at in high school. Even like when teams
Mhm.
when teams are playing coverages, all right. Throw it
So
over.
what is- yes.
I mean, that's all he's ever done.
Like, and the thing is, like, Swift and Holyfield, which Holyfield,
Jeez.
I don't know if I've seen anybody run that violently. Like,
No.
like he's literally running to find somebody to put a pad on. And I'm like, dude, go box like your dad did. That's Evander Holyfield's son. And he runs like his dad fought. I'm like, dude, that Georgia team, like, I just think what the game comes down to is just Georgia has better players than Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, look, a lot of Kentucky fans, and this is one thing I really want to talk about. If there's any Kentucky fans that were at that game listening to this podcast, and you were complaining the whole game, one, shame on you. Two, how are you going to do that when, honestly, you listen to any expert going into this season, we were projected to be 5-7,
Yeah.
4-8 by a couple. We weren't even supposed to get over 6 wins, and we're 7-2. We have wins at Florida, at Missouri, Vandy, Mississippi State, South Carolina. You look at what Kentucky's done. Kentucky's doing stuff that Kentucky football normally never does.
Since
That's what-
All they're doing is
Since
complaining.
'98.
It's like, all I hear is complaining. Like people talking bad about Terry Wilson. Terry Wilson outplayed Jake Fromm on Saturday.
He's a sophomore.
Yes, like why are people
Yeah.
calling for Gunnar Hope? We just saw Gunnar Hope 2 weeks ago for 3 straight possessions look like garbage.
Yeah.
Gunnar Hope is not the answer. Shut up.
Yeah.
Like, Terry Wilson is the future of this team for the next 3 years. And honestly, and this may be a hot take to a lot of people, this offense will look better when Benny Snell is gone. And I'll explain. You look how good Kentucky's offense looked when they went out and spread offense and was just running like a 2-minute style offense with Benny Snell on the bench with A.J. Rose out there. How much better did they look?
And that's what I'm gonna say. Kentucky hasn't won those type of games in ever, and since I've been
No.
alive, like they're winning those games now. Like when it comes down to a 2-minute
Yes.
drill, I mean, it is great to see, and I have great hopes for this Tennessee
Are-
game. Going in
but-
and beating
Oh, they'll beat
in
Tennessee.
Knoxville.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna
But-
say. It hasn't happened since like '97.
No.
No.
It's like 77.
I'm gonna say it was a while. It's
Yeah,
been a
yeah.
while.
It's like 40 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that we've beaten one in like Knoxville.
So like my thing is like, yeah, it sucks to lose that game, but we're 7-2.
You
You
weren't
got a good
supposed to
shot
win
at
the game.
going 10-2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
yeah.
good
yeah,
shot.
very
We
good
can, we can go 10-2.
With Louisville coming up in 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then you played Mid Tennessee State in between that.
Which
like-
actually will be tougher than Louisville.
It will though. He's not lying.
You could have fielded Trinity High School on that field against Clemson, and they would have played better than Louisville did. I mean, it was 72 to
77
77
to 16.
to 6. Oh, was it 16? I thought it was just 6. I mean, that's just bad, guys.
Like,
That's bad.
I think that Petrino.
Beautiful is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that Petrino's on his way out. Stoops and Kentucky are on their way up.
Oh, you on the bandwagon of the Braun brothers coming?
Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing with Braum though. If you're Braum, do you come to Louisville, or do you look and see if Ohio State goes up?
Nah, I don't go to Ohio State if I'm Brown.
Because there's so much more potential there.
But
Like
see,
Louisville.
his thing is he takes smaller teams and he makes
He's a,
them.
he's, a Charlie,
That's
he's a
true.
Charlie Strong type guy, where he was good
Yeah,
in Louisville,
100%.
but you take him to
Yeah.
Texas,
By the
can't do
way,
anything.
for all those Louisville fans complaining about Charlie Strong, I bet you take him back now. wouldn't you?
yeah.
Like you saw it at WKU and you
Mhm.
see it now at Purdue.
Yes.
Like it's just how he does it.
See, you say the same thing, but like, look at what is his name? Willie Taggart at Florida State.
Yeah.
Did great at Western, did great at South Florida, did great at Oregon, and they're garbage at Florida State. So I don't know. So I don't know. Like Braun could.
Which
But I will say, like, if Louisville's smart, if they fire Bobby, they better have Bro, I'm locked up already.
Yeah.
You don't fire
Open
Bobby
arms.
unless you've got a surefire
What's the buyout though for Bobby right now? Like
13.
13 million. That's a lot of money. That I don't think the university
It's
has
worth
right
it, man.
now.
It's
They're
100%
gonna
worth
raise
it.
our tuition.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm not going to be here, so I don't care.
True. Me and you were out of here.
Look,
I
demolish the SRC. Take all that money.
know. That's my job.
I'm gonna say
Yeah, for another
with
semester.
paying out all like the Rick Pitino stuff and like
Well,
the NCAA and
Bring
everything.
back Papa John's, and you'll
Yeah,
have
great.
the money.
Yeah, we have the
Speak-
racist hit here and everything. Like, it doesn't look good. The Young Center hates us. Like,
Speaking of Rick
Which our new
Pitino,
NBA team's gonna slide.
speaking of Rick Pitino, do you guys see him
Being
coaching?
an NBA coach?
Yeah, in the NBA
No.
or
He's
in,
already tried it though.
he has with
And he
the
sucked at it.
Celtics. He did. He
I
did.
know
And the
it's a-
Knicks.
It's a
Yeah,
different era of basketball,
But it,
and I
yeah.
understand that, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't cut all my horses in.
So,
there.
but see here, it's also the era where coaches don't necessarily matter all that much.
yeah, that's what I say. You can coach in the NBA blind.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Oh,
I think
you can do it
It depends
in-
on the team.
One
Hold on.
of
It's on- Yeah,
Hold on.
LeBron. That's not the same situation.
Hold on.
It's on the
Hold
same
on.
situation.
So I think you see this with Brad Stevens a lot. I think Brad Stevens is the best coach in the NBA.
I disagree with Greg Popovich, but that's fine. Brad
I agree.
Stevens is number
I agree.
2. And it's fine.
Popovich is a great teacher. I wouldn't. That's why he wants to coach the year because he's a great teacher.
Brad Stevens
And he
won
can-
last year.
He can convince people to buy into his program and everything, and that's why he's such a
Steve
great.
Kerr is a puppet. I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
yeah, so that's,
I'm not big on Steve Kerr.
that's
Like,
the
Yeah.
one team where you can say that it doesn't matter. You can plug any
like,
coach.
he
in like
literally
that.
took Mark
Tyler
Jackson's
did
teams and started winning with it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No,
Steve-
that doesn't
Steve
matter.
Kerr.
Steve Kerr doesn't do anything. I guarantee he
Right.
just sits in his office. and just-
There was games last year.
Last
They
year.
let them coach
but
themselves.
see,
Yeah.
here's the other thing. Like, but there are coaches that will lose team games.
Yeah.
For example, Tom Thibodeau in Minnesota.
Garbage.
Yeah.
What in the
Yeah.
world is going on? Like,
And the old Chicago
like
Bulls.
him and Jimmy, but yeah, the Timberwolves.
Yeah, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Which, why are we bringing back a bunch of guys that aren't any good anymore except for maybe Derrick Rose?
My
Which,
team is self-destructing,
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
and I don't understand anything that's happening. Why on earth is Jimmy Butler still on this team?
Honestly,
who wants him?
honestly,
Well,
The Miami Heat,
if,
the Rockets, they both
no,
won.
no. If I was Houston, I would trade for him now because
They
he's
tried.
he is their
Supposedly
only
they
yeah
tried.
he is their only hope
which
at beating the Warriors.
that offer, by the way,
If it's
Stupid.
true,
if it was
if it's
true,
true, if it's true.
four first rounders.
And Marquise Chris, and there was another player in there too.
Yeah, no,
Brandon Knight. It was both players
Yes,
who got from the
Brandon-
Suns.
Yeah. no, that was
Really?
stupid.
That's
And they-
awful.
and they-
On what side?
Yeah.
Minnesota should take the money and run.
Oh yeah, no, that was
take all of
stupid.
that and go.
Yeah, no, that was stupid for Houston. to do.
Houston,
No,
yes.
you take those 4 first-round draft picks.
For the next 4 years, are out.
You
Seven.
saw what happened to the Nets. We've seen it. It backfires. So you take it.
Well, I guess what they're thinking is they're going to have Chris Paul and James Harden for 4 more years. But Chris Paul will not last 4 more years.
No, sir.
Chris Paul's ankles and hamstrings and knees will not last him for
No.
2 more seasons.
I don't know if you saw it or not, but Houston got their defensive coordinator back. At, like,
I doubt his
retired.
nose will last a couple more seasons if he gets in another fight with Rondo too.
Nobody wants Rondo in a fight.
Oh no,
I'm just saying.
no.
There's only
Scrapper.
one guy in the league.
Instead of scrapper.
There's only one guy in the league that I think could take Rondo one-on-one.
Boogie Cousins.
Thank you.
Boogie
Boogie Cousins. See, look. Great minds think alike. That's exactly where I was going with that. Boogie Cousins, and then if Meta World Peace ever came back in the league, or Steven Jackson.
I can see it.
Those old bums.
Houston got their defensive coordinator back, which I think gives them a better shot to beat
Nope.
the Warriors. Like,
Nope.
Houston's
Nope,
defense is
nope.
Houston's 4-5. Look, Houston is playing no better than the Pelicans right now. Like,
That's not a shot at the Pelicans, is it?
no, it's the
No,
same.
it's not.
No, it's
That's not
more.
true.
It's not. It's more of a shot at the fact that Houston is supposed to be a contender right now.
Well, yeah, they
I know we're
lost.
only 9-10 games in
Yeah.
the season. I get that, but to watch them
That's an
come
awful
out.
start for them.
Like we said a couple weeks ago, Trevor Ariza offered more to that team than people realize.
Yes,
And
100%.
Luke and Bob.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Oh, especially.
like defensively, he offered more than desired.
Well, like, hey, listen to their losses are to the Pelicans, the Clippers, the Jazz, the Clippers, and the Trailblazers. So they're losing to good teams, but their only wins are the Lakers, who suck,
Trash.
which we'll get to it in a minute. The Nets, trash. Bulls, they only beat them by 8. Trash. And then the Pacers. And
Pacers.
now the Pacers are good.
They're great.
Oladipo is looking like he could possibly have an MVP type season. I'm not saying he'll win MVP.
Yeah.
MVP right now, to me, is Giannis. And I don't think it's
Or
close.
Kawhi. I don't know.
Really? With them winning like the last 3 games without him?
Yeah, I get that. I
Like
understand
they're
it.
super deep.
And I understand that Giannis is first. I'm just saying that Kawhi could be a close second because that team to me just feels,
Actually, DeRozan
that team,
is actually higher up than him right now.
that team feels different to me.
Because DeRozan has that Spurs team looking.
Honestly, I
pretty
still don't know
good.
who won
I
that
love
trade.
DeRozan.
The
I think it's
I
DeRozan.
think it's 50-50.
Yeah, like-
Because I think it works perfectly into what San Antonio wants with DeRozan. Even though the only problem with them is they're not going to be able to shoot threes because nobody they has is a 3-point shooter. Everybody's
Yeah.
a mid-range shooter.
I feel like
Which is
Portland
the
just,
worst shot in the NBA, and I said that with quotations because that's what it's being labeled as. But I personally
No,
have a
I
problem with it.
would take mid range over 3 points every day.
Drew Holiday.
Nobody guards it. Nobody
Tim
guards
Duncan would like to argue with like
Well, not
Tim
with
Duncan
me.
with
I'm
that
not
with
the one
that
saying
argument.
it. I'm just saying that they're saying that mid range is the worst.
Like
shot
San
in the NBA.
Antonio's won what? They won what 4 or 5
Something
NBA
like that.
finals off just hitting mid-range jumpers,
I mean, if it's not
and
broke,
maybe
don't fix
Manu,
it.
and maybe Manu coming up hitting a 3 every now.
He was at the game. He was at the last game. He was sitting.
Yeah,
That was cool.
that
I like
was
it.
when we got our bus kicked.
Okay, yeah, you're getting all upset, but you had Davis miss 4 games.
Three
Three games, and you
yeah.
have Elfrid Payton. That's just kind of a
Oh.
glue guy right there.
Well,
Elfrid Payton.
But here's the thing, though. Here's your 6 losses, dude. Like you're getting upset. You've lost to the Jazz, the Nuggets,
Nuggets, Thunder, Trailblazers,
Warriors,
and
Trailblazers, Spurs, and Thunder. Look, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team.
Speaking of the Western Conference playoffs, I had the Lakers going to be the 4th seed, but now I'm thinking we're talking 6 or 7 for me now.
Maybe 8.
They were
Because right now, like Denver could be a top 4 seed.
And I think
Oh,
they
I
are.
believe it.
Denver-
I
they
believe
are.
it. I believe it. Denver is good.
Jokic are the best center.
Yeah.
They're also
Yes,
super
it is.
pissed off they didn't make it last season.
and
Off that one
their
game.
jerseys look really nice.
Yes.
Dude, I love their uniforms.
They
Their
look
new
great.
logo is
I-
gorgeous.
Yeah.
I
The
think,
difference is the defense, because the offense, they've had that. The
Yeah.
defense this year
Yeah.
is great.
I honestly think that the Jazz fall off.
I do too.
I
I
not
think we
yet.
do.
I'm not sold on that yet. I think they're gonna get it figured out.
I think Donovan has a worse year this year than he did last year.
I think the Timberwolves
Well, I mean, if you
and
can say
probably the
healthy.
Pelicans drop out.
What'd you say?
Here's-
I think Timberwolves and the Pelicans will do that drop
I think it's.
out. And I think LA and Denver make it
That's pretty safe to say, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it, but you know,
I don't think Utah misses this year.
I don't think they miss. I'm just saying, I don't think they're. People had them as the 5th seed. I don't think that's
I
happening.
had the
Oh,
Clippers
God.
out this year.
Oh.
in.
That's interesting.
What do you say?
The Clippers.
The Clippers.
They didn't make it last year.
No, they didn't.
Am I mistaken on that?
Yeah, they didn't make it.
Oh, for some reason I thought they did.
No.
I was like, wait a minute.
I apologize.
It was the Warriors, the Rockets, the Trailblazers, the Pelicans, the Thunder,
Mm.
the Jazz, the Timberwolves, and then God, who was I already said them.
Did
Who
you?
was-
Okay.
some other team. I'm
You
forgetting.
said the Thunder?
Yeah, I did. I don't know. I'm just forgetting for some reason. But I think if
Spurs.
yeah, the Spurs. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I think
Wow.
You know,
As soon as-
only
as
made
soon
the
as you
playoffs
like,
for
yeah.
like
saying
For the
that,
last 20 years?
yeah, longer than I've been alive.
I think
so.
if it's between 3 teams, it's between the Spurs, the Pelicans, and the Timberwolves.
I think-
See, I think the Spurs will make it.
I think Spurs make it.
Timberwolves are- yeah,
I think the Spurs are 6.
So, do we buy into Sacramento?
No.
No.
God,
no.
I would
6
love
and
to.
4?
I would love to. De'Aaron Fox, Willie Cauley-Stein, I love it, but no, you just can't keep this production.
I want to see that team in Seattle. I'm dead set that Sacramento or that
They should be in
Sacramento's
Seattle.
moving
They
to
need to. They need to relocate.
No.
They got
I'll tell you who I
California
want to see. I'll tell you who I want to see relocate. Memphis. Get them out of Memphis.
Where do you
Put
want
them
them to go?
where?
Well, because
They've
look,
already moved.
You gonna send them to the
to
West
Memphis.
Coast?
They move.
They would
yes,
have
somewhere where they're actually in
No.
the Western Conference.
I mean, I can get that. Yeah, I mean,
Like they're in the East Coast.
Yeah.
And they're playing in the Western Conference.
Well, the Pelicans are almost borderline.
Yeah.
No, but see, if you actually look it up on the map, Pelicans and the Bucks are literally right there. So it's, I mean, either one. You could flip the two and it wouldn't make a difference.
It would make a big difference to me.
Well, yeah, because the Pelicans would
It would
probably
make a big difference to me.
like, and the Bucks would go to being probably the 7 or 8 seed.
Yeah. I would love to see, like you said, Giannis MVP. I think that 3-pointer's got to fall. I
Yeah.
think it's got to fall.
Yeah, we were talking about
Bucks
it last
lost
night.
tonight, by the way, to the Trailblazers. McCollum scored 40 points.
Jesus
did he
Christ.
now?
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Well, I actually think C.J. McCollum is a better pure scorer than Damian Lillard.
Absolutely.
Pure scorer, not a better player.
I really would.
Don't come
hope,
at me.
I kind of hope we play the Trailblazers again with Alfred Payton and Drew Holiday perfect, and I hope we give them the works like we did last season, except for Rondo's on their hot.
Do me a favor. Trade Drew Holiday.
For
Trade dude, anybody. That way you actually have a point guard that makes it through February.
Yeah, but he's a shooting guard.
He doesn't stay healthy. Okay, go get a shooting guard.
But I don't see
You need a
any-
3-point shooter anyway.
I don't see any return for Drew Holiday that somebody would give up that would be adequate enough
For
for
a
a
three-
replacement.
So you just need 3-point shooting, right?
But Drew Holiday, defensive-wise, is great.
Drew Holiday made all defensive first.
Trade him for Eric Gordon.
We already had.
I don't like it.
Gordon
I don't
a few
like
years
that.
ago,
I don't like that.
and it didn't work out.
I take Drew Holiday.
It didn't work out because it was on the same team as Tyreek Evans. You tried to play him and Tyreek Evans at the same time. That wasn't going to work.
I still take Drew over. I take Eric Gordon. That all-defensive team speaks a lot.
Houston will argue with you. Because that man has been a six. He arguably should have won 6-man of the year last
Do
year.
they want a 6-man, though?
Fair point.
But ask the Clippers how valuable that Jordan Crawford was Jamal Crawford was as 6-man when he was there. Like, they don't win a lot of those games.
Williams was
You need it. No, most of the time it was Jamal Crawford. You're thinking like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like when they were really good was Jamal Crawford. So
I mean,
Well,
I think 6-man is
I'm not gonna
valuable.
like
I don't
this
think.
Clippers.
I just don't think Eric Gordon meets Drew Holiday because Drew Holiday can get you 20 points a night, and he's also going to save you.
okay,
to
trade him for
20 points.
Batum.
Oh my God.
I'm taking that deal. I'm taking it. Give
I
me
say that jokingly.
If you
We'll-
want, if
okay,
you want
fine.
more,
We'll trade you KCP.
No, my God.
Yeah.
if each one more can he's been.
Hey, I'll trade you
he's-
KCP for each one more.
He's been doing.
Somebody take him. Get him out of
He's been
here.
doing really good this season so far. And if Mirotic could consistently hit 3-pointers, he's either hitting them or he's missing all of them. If he could hit them all, if he could consistently make them at least half of, whenever like nice when he's hitting them, if he could hit half of those consistently, we're fine.
Yeah,
Or more could hit them.
I want to bring up the Lakers for a minute. Here's their
Can we
problem. Huh?
Can we not? I don't like talking about the Lakers.
No, because
Main
they
team.
need to be talked about. So you've got a team that relies on JaVale McGee a lot. Who?
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 14.4 points a game, 7.5 rebounds a game.
Isn't he like known for being on Shaq and a Fool too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Consistently.
But he's a great rebounder. I mean, he averages 3.4 rebounds per game, or blocks per game. Sorry, leading the league. But you got LeBron averaging 27, 7, and 7. I mean,
it's
that's what he
LeBron
does.
James.
What a crappy stat line that was.
Yeah, people are criticizing that. I'm like, what do you want him to do? I mean, do you want 30, 10, and 10?
They do.
It's
I
very
would.
hard to do.
I
No,
would.
I mean,
He's 33. He's been in the league for 15 years.
I'm aware. I'm just saying people were
Russell
just expecting
Westbrook's
it possible.
I mean, Lonzo 9.6 points, 4.8 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 46% field goal percentage. So he's not shooting as bad this year.
What's Lonzo's 3-point percentage?
41.
That's ridiculous.
That's actually decent
Yeah.
compared to everyone on
I
this
know.
team.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I'll
Lonzo's
take
one of your best
41%.
3-point
I'll take
shooters.
40%.
Their best 3-point shooters right now technically is Rondo at 53%.
I don't need to take it.
He averages 2 attempts a game.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what I
one
thought.
for, he averages 1 for 2.
Rondo
Per
started hitting them last season with us.
Oh, don't take credit for it.
I'm not taking credit for it. I'm
Like-
just saying he was showing that kind of
Here's the
stuff
thing, like
there. Now he's doing it here.
the Lakers' worst 3-point shooter is KCP at 21.7.
Oh my
Percent.
God.
Their next worst is Kuzma, but Kuzma shouldn't be shooting threes anyway. LeBron is the next worst at 28.8.
You know what's
LeBron
hilarious?
is playing awful. Like, his numbers look good, but he can't shoot. His scoring has sucked this year. It's all been breakaway dunks.
The effort, man. I think just
I think that's BS. I don't want to hear that he don't play hard. I've been a hater of LeBron for years, dude.
LeBron's some defense.
And I don't want to hear that. Dude, nobody plays hard on defense. Nobody plays hard on defense, ever. In
LeBron walks up the court
in
sometimes.
November.
Okay, maybe like later.
I'm saying in November.
There's times when LeBron does.
One thing that's funny
Casually
is like at
crosses
the
the
beginning of the
line.
He
season.
did it in Miami.
He did.
Yeah, but that's not good there either.
I'm just saying, like, he's always done it. Like, no one's ever really going to point. Like, why do we need to
When
point it
you-
out? He's
Yeah.
never been anything other than that.
When
Like,
you drop 30, you can walk up the court.
Like-
Average, when you're averaging like 30 points.
I guess when you're arguing
Like-
with the greatest player.
okay,
Yeah.
so like, I mean, would Michael Jordan play his butt off the whole game in today's game? No, because he wouldn't have to. Today's game is not meant to be played. You know, nobody plays 100% for
Every
48 minutes.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen that way.
I think it's kind of funny to see like
Everybody
Warriors-
takes possessions off.
Do you know who's number one in walking up the court right now? Guess. Not okay. When the ball is not in his hands, he's either standing or walking.
Russell Westbrook.
Carmelo Anthony.
No. Eastern Conference.
Dwight Howard?
No. Same team.
John
John Wall.
It's John Wall.
Really?
And that's why that team is imploding. You got Dwight Howard and a
They
lazy John Wall.
suck, dude.
John Wall thrives off of speed, and if you're not moving, then who are you helping?
Yeah.
Right,
Dwight
like,
Howard doesn't
but-
move at all.
so here's the thing
I'm
with the
ready to
Lakers.
go.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
talk
why.
about it.
That's why
So the
you
Lakers-
they inbound the ball and it's here.
The Lakers are the 20th team in 3-point shooting, 24th in free throw shooting, 18th in rebounds, 22nd in turnovers. They average 15 turnovers a game.
My gosh.
That's not going to win games.
Yeah.
We had 20 turnovers.
And who's
against them,
getting,
not
you
gonna
know, Okay, all right. You know, I'm not going to say.
But their opponents actually average more turnovers per game.
I'm not saying like know who the exact percentage, but who do you think's leading them in turnovers?
If I'm not mistaken, actually, it's LeBron.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Which we know if the ball's in your hands that much, I could see. You know,
Lonzo's actually been very efficient this year.
I think Lonzo's the only player that LeBron has been able to rely upon. Right?
Brandon Ingram.
Kuzma.
I like Ingram and Kuzma and Josh Hart for that matter.
Okay, yeah, Josh Hart.
It's going to be those four.
I don't
Right.
like Josh Hart on the bench though. They gave him like the starting nod like what 1 or 2 times, and then
Because Ingram was out. That's all it was, because Ingram was out.
I still find a way to put him in there.
Like,
I
I mean,
have a question. Does
Mhm.
Luke Walton get fired before the end of the season?
I hope not. I hate that. Because then if the coach that takes over does a good job, then you have to keep him. I hate firing
Bringing
coaches
Ty Lue for
mid-season.
consistent coach, man. He needs to
I'm out on that. No. I want real coaches. I'm tired of bringing in LeBron's people. Look, that's why. Look, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. I am not a LeBron fan. I'm not a LeBron hater anymore. I've been I've seen the light a few years ago. But here's the thing: you look at a lot of the teams that brought in his people, they implode. Like, look at Cleveland last year.
That team should have been ridiculously good.
I mean, Boston cost themselves the series.
Yeah.
I mean, on multiple occasions, which now it don't even look like Boston has the team set up to win the East now.
No, they don't. No,
I just think it's funny.
Gordon Hayward does not look the same.
he's slow.
You gotta
he's not
give
aggressive.
Well, he's
him-
never
you
fast
gotta give him
anyway.
He's
credit.
slower.
I know,
Okay.
but I'm saying, he did play at Butler. It's not
Did
like
you
he
see
played
him
at
run
Duke.
off that screen? He was like, no.
Yeah. No,
You gotta give
I
him
know he
some
looks
time.
like old man Steve Nash. I know. But, I don't even know if he's that slow. He might be, I don't know. He might be slower than dirt. But,
He's not aggressive either.
no.
Yeah.
But, once again, he was never that aggressive.
He was just always a really good shooter.
I wouldn't have traded him. I would have traded him and let Jason Tatum, which they are. They let both of them play.
Yeah.
Did you get something else for Gordon Hayward?
I still just think it's funny to look
Dude.
at Cleveland's lineup starting last year. So what is it?
Kevin Love.
With him being hurt now,
Yeah.
by the way. So who do we think is the worst team in the league? Them or Phoenix?
Cleveland's worse.
Cleveland.
No, I'm gonna go with Phoenix.
Really?
I think Phoenix is.
I think even with Kevin Love, Cleveland's worse.
Actually, as I say that, I actually go Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
was
where's the
saying-
Hawks?
yeah,
I think
the
yeah,
Hawks
I
are pretty
think-
bad.
As soon as I said that, I was
The
like,
Hawks
I
are
misspoke.
really
I should
bad.
have threw
Okay,
Atlanta.
keep in mind, Atlanta 30-piece Cleveland though.
Mm.
Yeah, they did.
I say-
No,
I think
no.
Atlanta's
Trey Young,
worse.
30-piece.
But isn't that worse?
Phoenix is better than Atlanta.
By the way, how bad does Colin Sexton look?
So bad that his own
Best.
veterans are roasting him.
Best player on the team with or without LeBron.
And by the way, I called that pick. I hated him going 8th. Was it 8th or 9th?
It was 8th, and they should have taken SGA. Shea Gilgeous.
Yeah.
They should have taken.
100%. Like, what? And by the way, the Clippers look pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Without Blake Griffin, without DeAndre Jordan. Which, whatever happened to the Pistons? That roster's not bad.
No.
Well,
They're just not.
They need to.
They fall under the same thing every year. They kind of like the LA Chargers, where they're hyped up every year and they just don't
Right.
do
Like,
anything. I mean,
I don't get it. Like,
Honestly, I think all the Pistons need to like jumpstart is
point guard.
that's what I was gonna say. Point guard.
Well, here's my
Well, because
opinion.
they're still running with Reggie Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
my opinion of the Pistons. And like my honest opinion, I think either Blake Griffin gets hurt for the majority of the season or he's traded.
Again?
Do the
Yes,
Pistons make the playoffs?
yeah.
No.
Because you can't win with
I
just
don't-
two front court guys. You need a backcourt.
I don't see
In
any
this
team.
NBA, you need a backcourt. You cannot rely on Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin to win the game.
Do you trade both and just get draft picks?
No.
And rebuild?
I don't think they would trade
No.
Andre Drummond because he's
I
still
don't.
too young.
Yeah, I don't trade Andre. But I don't see any team picking up Blake Griffin.
I do, and I think it would be one of three teams actually make plenty of sense. I think Boston would make a move for him because Boston still struggles with bigs.
Do you, or do you think they wait and just try to make a move on AD in the offseason?
But I mean,
There's still
isn't Blake
some
Griffin
reason
on a
for it.
contract year anyway?
What?
Isn't Blake Griffin on a contract year?
I cannot say for sure or not, but they can't make a move for AD in the offseason because he's under contract.
But for
Yeah.
trades. Like,
They're not trading Anthony Davis.
No.
but
No.
what would they try and wait? Like wait on like someone like Blake
What, for
Griffin,
another
try and
year?
get a pick.
No. The NBA is too much of a win now kind of thing now. Like, unless you're like really really bad like Philly was for so many years, where you can wait to rebuild.
Yeah.
Like, but if you're in Boston situation, you're not in position to win later. You're here to win now at this point.
Especially
got a
with the
roster that's
roster.
built
Yeah,
to
I was
win
about to
now.
say, especially with the roster that they have now. I mean, you're second in the East,
Yeah.
and you're debatable first, debatable.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think that this is the best Boston Celtics team that we've seen in a while since 2008.
Hang on.
Sure.
What are the other two teams you think could make a move for Blake Griffin other than Boston?
Yeah, you never said.
Yeah, no, I haven't got to it yet. I would say Memphis because
But Jaren Jackson's there.
small forward.
Jaren Jackson with the three?
Yeah,
Why would
and
you?
I like him a lot. By the way, he looks really good.
He's fun. Has the defense capabilities.
He's fine.
By the way, I feel like shade, but he's better than any pick that the Hornets have had for the last 10 years.
Who?
I'll
What?
throw shade right back at you. And I'm just like, I feel like you're throwing shade on that
Hey,
kid.
Miles Bridges. No, I was no. I
After
knew-
tonight,
I knew Jaren Jackson was going to be that pick, and I think he's great for that pick. I don't think he's a three. That's my problem with what you said.
See, but he played 3 at Michigan State, and it was just fine.
No, Miles Bridges.
No, Bridges played 4. Bridges posted up a lot. A lot of Bridges' game was posting up a lot, buddy.
Let me tell you what. I love what I'm seeing from Miles Bridges. So go Michigan
just
State in
saying-
this year's draft. They need to- you know?
I'm just saying, like, so, and then the other team I would say would look at him because for some reason they want to trade for everybody is Houston. Houston's actually other big problem is
Yeah.
at power forward. Because-
they're gonna get rid of Carmelo.
Is
No,
PJ Tucker? Is PJ Tucker the four?
yeah, but he's not a 4.
That's what I
Yeah.
know. I guess that's the issue you're talking about.
Like, he's definitely not a 4. Like Clint Capella is literally doing everything for them down low.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
I'll take Blake Griffin.
I mean, y'all want to talk about the college football playoff rankings real quick? Just real quick.
Oh yeah, we can.
You can
Update.
I mean,
Updated. Yeah, what's our top 4 right now?
Top 4 is Bama 1,
Clemson
Clemson 2, Notre Dame 3, and Michigan 4.
Ben was.
I'm glad to see Michigan in there though.
I am too,
honestly,
and I think it made sense for LSU to be in there over them last week.
Yeah.
But now with them losing,
Yeah.
it just makes a lot of sense.
Shut
Like,
out.
Yeah.
Shut out.
Shut out by Bama.
dude, Bama. There's only one team in my opinion right now that can beat Bama.
If you don't say USF, or I'm sorry,
UCF.
UCF, I'm going to be upset.
Why? Because I don't think UCF could actually. I don't know if UCF would guarantee to be Kentucky.
No one can handle Alabama.
You
I mean,
can't
it's
beat
just-
the best because
you
Bama
can't
is the
beat-
best.
Clemson would be the
Yeah.
other team. Like, because I
Yeah.
think Trevor Lawrence is
Yeah,
really good and a good enough quarterback to go out and beat Bama. So I think and that defense is better than Bama's, and it's better than LSU's. And LSU slowed down Alabama. Yeah, they give up 29 points, but 29 points to Alabama is nothing in this year.
The only chance you have is taking out Tua, because they have no backup quarterback. That's proven.
Well, Jalen Hurts isn't bad.
He's gone.
He's hurt
bud.
too.
He's gone. He's
hurt
transferred,
too.
ain't he?
No, he's not.
no,
He's still there, buddy.
Yeah, he's still
Is he
there.
there? I thought he transferred. I'm thinking
No, he got hurt last week.
uh,
I think Kelly Bryant out of Clemson.
No, like I said, I knew he was hurt or something because I heard him talking. Said they had no backup
But yeah,
quarterback
so
experience.
And I actually think I'm waiting on Notre Dame to lose.
oh yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Notre
I
Dame
see,
does this every year.
I
They'll be in
see-
the playoff running and it just.
I see Notre Dame losing, and then
But they only
either
play Syracuse, Florida State, and USC.
USC.
So I don't know if they do lose.
I have USC.
USC's trash.
Trap game. I don't know. I think Notre Dame loses somehow. I think they find a way to lose, and I either have Washington State or Oklahoma making it.
By the way, Kentucky only dropped 2 spots
Yeah,
behind
they
to
did.
11.
They did, but
And we're only 1 spot behind Ohio State.
Yeah.
I want Ohio State. Give me
I would
Ohio
love to
State
see
the whole
Ohio
team,
State.
please.
yeah, I want us to be up there with Ohio State. Honestly, like,
Which if we win out, we'll be setting ourselves up for a game with Ohio State more than likely.
but
Or Central Florida, because I want Central Florida fans to shut up.
Haskins really scares me.
Yeah, but that defense is garbage.
It is, but Haskins really scares me as a quarterback, and we can't outgun him. I'm sorry, but we
No.
can't.
The thing is, man, that defense is bad.
It is.
Like-
it is.
Like, I'm talking they gave up 40-something points to Purdue bad.
If there's somehow that
Purdue's good, but they ain't that good.
if Haskins gets hurt, they have Tate Martell at backup.
Good
I'll take
quarterback, too.
I'll take Tate Martell.
I feel like we got like this draft class, anyways. It's kind of like mediocre. Like I feel
Very
like
much so.
yeah,
yeah, like,
Football?
it's not-
Yes.
especially like I don't see you don't have an obvious Heisman right now. You don't have and honestly the most
See, I think
most of the players are on
winner
defense.
right now is probably Will Greer.
And
Yeah,
honestly, yeah,
Yeah.
like that's he's leading leading the race right now. But like defense is just playing out, I guess this year. Like especially in the draft year, it's gonna be a lot of D tackles and a lot of D ends and stuff. And the
A
league's
lot of
going to
edge
that.
rushers.
yeah.
The
That's gonna be
the league's going to that right now too. So obviously people are gonna pick that up when you
Yeah,
have successful guys.
that's gonna be the big gold
It was
mine
like-
this year.
It
is
was
edge
like
rushers.
3 or 4 guys that are really probably going to be like top 15 picks are going to be like your
Bosa,
Nick Bosa,
Yeah.
Josh Allen for sure.
Montez Sweat out
Yeah.
of Mississippi State,
Yeah.
and is Ed Oliver an edge rusher or is he a nose tackle?
I would think more.
Out of Houston.
I would think more nose tackle, but
I think he is nose tackle.
I'd say he could play either or. I mean,
Yeah, and so can I can't think of the other dude's name from Mississippi State. He's really good too.
it pisses me off that I don't know it either.
But either way, I mean, so you've got like 6-7 guys in the top 15
Yeah.
that are going to be on defensive line.
And honestly, Raiders found their guy
Yeah, Raiders are probably going to go Nick Bosa early.
for sure. Especially if they get that
I
number
think-
one pick.
They'll be number one pick. Yeah, they'll be number
I
one.
think,
Maybe number two if they can somehow.
I think, number one pick's probably going to be the Giants, and they're probably going to have to go Herbert out of Herbert, Greer, or Drew Lock. And I actually like Drew Lock a lot.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are really high on Herbert, even though I think this might be one of the weaker quarterback
Absolutely.
groups for the next few years.
All the mock drafts that I've seen have had Herbert going one.
Yeah, he probably will go one.
I don't see it.
A lot of the ones I've seen is Josh Allen to Green Bay.
Interesting.
I like
That's
that.
I could see it. I don't like it,
I don't like it either.
but I could see it because I mean, especially he matches that offense kind of.
Well, I mean, you got to think that they run more of a 3-4 type offense. So is he going to go down to? Is he going to go out to linebackers? Or is he going to stay?
Defensive end.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's going to be on that odd side D end or the weak side. I guess
So
it's
is he gonna be a lot like Bud Dupree?
I would
something
say
like that. Something it'd be a lot like where he's going to have to jump into coverage. Anyways, thank you guys very much for listening to this podcast. Thank you very much to Andrew coming down here, talking to us about sports
Thanks, guys.
this week. It's been a wonderful experience. One of the better episodes, in my opinion, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow all of us on social media and all that good stuff. This is the Final Buzzer Podcast.